Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for staying behind. I know a lot of people will leave after the lucky draw, but I still see quite a healthy turnout down here. So appreciate you still around. Met some of you earlier. So thank you for being so supportive of our event. I would like to talk about a certain topic today. I think you may have heard it before. Some of you have never heard it before. So I hope after this session, everyone can bring back something to think about. Or if you want, we have our booth out there. You can get a free 𝗠،្��𝘆. So without further ado, I just want to introduce our new service that iFAST have launched. My company name is called iFAST Global Trust. We are part of the iFAST family. Today is FSMOne event, so they have very kindly invited me to come and share about estate planning with everyone down here. So first, I want to thank you for staying on. Also, our sponsors, fund houses, they have made this event possible. So as you know, I think a lot of people, when they start out in their career, they will save money, and up to a certain point, I have enough to invest. And that's where you look for investment platforms like us, right, to grow and invest all your savings. So it's a very natural fact of life, when you start saving up, you invest, you grow your money so that you will eventually fund your retirement. But I think at this point, a lot of people are just focused on the now and present, saving enough for the house, saving enough for the children's education, and also your own retirement. But a lot of people forget this very last step of wealth transfer. What is wealth transfer? Essentially, after you have made your riches, right, you need to pass it on to somebody, perhaps your children, perhaps your spouse. So I think this is a topic that a lot of people tend not to think about. They are focused on the future because investment is very exciting. You make a lot of money, right? And then you can actually see the wealth grow in your bank account. But wealth transfer, seldom people think about it on an everyday basis. For today, I just want you guys to remember these three important things that you must do, okay, in order to transfer your wealth effectively to your beneficiaries. So if anything else I say today that you forget, but please remember your will, LPA, and your CPF are the three important and the most easily implemented tools that you can do for yourself and also for your family. So for the rest of this session, I will circle around these three items. And at the end, I will also share about how we can help you realize all these things. Okay, a quick guessing game. You can see 4 pictures of very famous people in history, right? We have Abraham Lincoln, we have 𝗪𝘰𝘰, 𝗪𝘆𝘆 and 𝗵𝘃𝘰. So you see 𝗪𝘰𝘰, he looks like Mao Zedong. This guy is not Mao Zedong. He's the guy who acted as Mao Zedong. So I thought it would be more relatable. But he's a very famous Chinese actor. So these 4 of them, they have something in common. So of course, with the topic today, you all can guess, okay, must be something about estate planning, must be something about will. Okay, but yes, but what next, right? So all these people, they have a common problem. Why? Because they have their will, they didn't do their will, they didn't state their estate plan clearly for the people who is going to carry on their legacy. So the first one, Abraham Lincoln, as you know, the first president of the United States, he's a lawyer by training. Even him, as a lawyer, he did not write his will. So the worst of the accident happened that he was assassinated, as you all know. And then his beneficiaries is left with, no plan in sight. So for Abraham Lincoln, it's, as a US citizen, it's very complicated to handle assets. So if he had a will in place, his descendants will have an easier time to distribute his assets. So 𝗪𝘰𝘰 is an actor. He didn't do his will, he passed on. He had a couple of marriages during his lifetime. So what happens is the children from the previous marriage wanted to settle the assets for his estate, which will require his current wife's participation. But unfortunately, without the will, the wife the current wife was not very cooperative. So in the end, everything was brought to court and it was contested. And then, him being an actor, he has a certain legacy, a certain image, right? But by bringing this matter to court, he has tarnished his image. So 𝗁𝘆 you all watch period dramas, TV series, you all know that first emperor of China, in the end, he died, and then his second son assumed the throne. So the circumstances with this is, he may or may not be the rightful heir. So there's a lot of speculation whether the will is forged or not. So all this caused a lot of internal struggle, right? If he had made his intention known and stamped off his decision to let the first son inherit, then you wouldn't have this problem which caused the downfall of the dynasty. And Bob Marley is a famous Jamaican musician, never do his will. He never believed in doing his will. So he died of cancer, leaving estate down to his 11 children and wife. So during the process, the accountants and lawyers of the wife did some manipulation, did some forgery so that the wife can get a bigger share. So in the end, people were in prison because of forgery, and of course it took many years to settle his estate. So with these 4 examples, I just want to also touch on the kinds of wealth transfer. So obviously, these people didn't have a plan. They have so much, but they didn't have a plan. Right now, immediately, what I can tell you is wealth transfer, there are a few types of them. First, we have your wills. Some of you know, trust. Nominations being CPF nominations, insurance nomination. It's a way of wealth transfer in the future to your beneficiaries. And then we have gifts. Gifts can be done during your lifetime, right? You can immediately give, your property, give your shares to people you like. So there's something you can do within your lifetime. Then, of course, we have joint ownership. Joint ownership, I think even my friend, he has a very simple way of succession. So he said, hey, I will buy this property. I'll buy this property and then I will leave it to my wife, right? So when I die, immediately she assume, so there's no need to go through all this process. So that's one way of doing asset transfer. And then ultimately, as you know, Singapore government is very good. If you have no plan, nothing, Akong will take care of you, meaning the government will step in to help you distribute asset. So there's all these methods of wealth transfer. The important thing is to consider why you are giving it, how you are doing it, and then when you are doing it. So I will circle back to the main point where you must have a plan of why, how, and when, right? So I will focus on the last part, which is interstate succession, because it's something that you have no control, you have no flexibility, because it's written in law as to how much and who should be given. So I will explain a bit more. So according to the Succession Act, okay, there are a few rules in order of priority. So in this case, the rule number 1, very simple. If the person has no parents, no children, 100% of the assets will go to the wife, straightforward. If the person has a wife and children and living parents, the parents will not get a share. The share will be between the wife and children. Likewise, for rule number 3, if the person has no spouse and only has children, everything will go to the children. So rule number 4, we are looking at parents still alive, wife still alive, so they will split 50-50. And then rule number 5 is absolutely no spouse, no children, it will go to the parents. So there are a few more rules, 6, 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth, but the more important one I want to focus on is rule number 2 and 3. I think in Asian context, at some point in time, we want to show filial piety to our parents, right? So if you leave it to interstate succession act, rule number 2 and 3 does not cater for this aspect, which means if this person passes on with children and wife, the surviving parents will get nothing. So I hope this is something for you to think about. So now, maybe I give a few real-life examples, and then hopefully it can give you something to think about regarding the Succession Act. Okay, so these 3 examples. Number 1, Jim. Jim lives with his mother. He has a sibling. They are very close. 3 of them are very close. But however, they have a 𝗍∗ father. So the father is still alive, left the family many years ago. But it's not possible for the mom to get a divorce because since it's been so long ago, and then it's not really affecting their lives. So this legal process of divorce never happened. So what happens if Jim's mother passed away? According to the Succession Act, right, the children should be granted certain assets, but because the father is still around, naturally the spouse will also inherit 50%. So this will cause a problem to the family because the father has not been contributing to the family, and if this does happen, the father can suddenly one day appear and start to claim for the assets. The second example, Pam, she is not married. She has no children. She has no spouse. But she has a sister whom she has not been talking to since young. So the relationship is really bad. So one day she said, what happens when I die? I said, hey, you need to put a will in place because since you're not on good terms with sister, I mean, I don't want to be a bad guy, but the law says that if you have no parents, no children, but your sibling, naturally, rule number 6 or 7 will say that you'll go to your sibling. So that's one way I tell clients like that, who have no further relations other than a 𝗍∗ relative. I say, better you put down what you want, you give it to a charity, you give it to your religion, so at least it's meant for good use and not going to your other sibling. So the last one is a question, actually, which is also a real-life scenario. So you have older husband and wife. Okay, why I use the word older, I will explain why later. So your husband and wife both died in an accident. They have no children, but both of them have parents still alive. And they did not make the will. So when they pass on in an accident, they have a condo. So your guess, condo go to who? Correct. Our friend is very learned down here. So I think a lot of people don't know, Interstate Act, if both spouse pass on, the older spouse is deemed to be the one who passed first, okay, even though they're at the same time. Which means older spouse pass on, the asset, the 50% share of condo, will go to the wife's estate, and from the wife's estate, it will eventually go to the parents if both of them do not make any will. So that means the older husband, parents will not be able to be entitled to any assets that the son has. So that is something to think about. But of course, when I say something to think about, I say, 哎呀，改天再讲啦，不会发生的啦. Then some people say, hey, nobody will guide me, I don't know how to do. It's so expensive. And for the younger crowd, I say, hey, still young, I don't have money. All valid reasons, I have my own excuse for not going to the gym. You see, I put on 10 over kg since the last year. So for me, it's all excuses. But today shouldn't be an excuse, right? You have all these reasons, no problem. My booth is there. Anytime you come and talk to me, free of charge today. In fact, you can't talk to me, it's free. Don't worry about that. So all these reasons will try to help you disperse away. To show you some statistics, which is also in line with what I've experienced outside this morning, a lot of our friends came up and asked me, hey, I don't have this, don't have that. How I do this, how I do that. So the statistics is very in line, right? People ask them, you will do will or not? I said, hey, actually haven't do. I got think of doing it before. Okay, so statistics show that 1 out of 5 never do their will. But a lot of people have heard about CPF nomination and LPA, which is a good thing because the government has been promoting this very, very actively. So it's very helpful for the government to have all this digitally in place for you to do up your CPF nomination and LPA. So the top 3 items are the ones that we are more concerned with today, which is the focus of our talk. So why is a will important? Like I said before, to ensure that your riches go to the right people, right? It doesn't go to somebody who is not entitled to it, in your opinion. Then, of course, financially, you can also empower your descendants to do things that they like. You can also put in certain conditions to help them gain their entitlement after a certain event. Of course, it also helps to promote family harmony. I've seen people arguing during funeral, wow, 阿公的 CPF. So sometimes I hear that. It's quite sad, right? Also important in the will for parents here who have children, it's important to specify your guardian, right? So we don't know, chance happen, two parents pass away, then both sides of the family will fighting over custody. It's also a preserved legacy. What I say about legacy is, other than giving to your direct descendants, maybe you have something you're passionate about. You want to benefit the society of dogs. You want to benefit your church or temple. So there's a lot of ways that you can express this kind of passion, this kind of love through your will to the benefiting society or charity. So of course, end of the day is to save time and reduce costs. Somebody who don't have a will, okay, family first fight, okay, who go and do? Wow, sai kang, I don't want to do. Right, so troublesome. Ati can go and settle. So Ati begrudgingly, you go to OPG office, website, go and find a lawyer, do a probate, waste time, waste money, right? So with a will, it's very clear. The will actually say, you can actually designate who is your executor. For example, my younger son, competent, he knows how to handle. I entrust to him. Hopefully, he can step in, and manage all this seamlessly. So that's why a will is important. The other component I want to talk about is, because now we're talking about will, what happened after it pass on. But I say, hey, what happens during my lifetime? Is there anything I should take care of? Yes, there's a situation that's worse than death, which is 瘫痪, paralyzed, stroke, cannot think, 发神经. So LPA, the lasting power of attorney, is something that you can do during your lifetime to have a backup for this kind of situation when it happens, okay? So the LPA itself is to help you be prepared for unforeseen circumstances, right? If somebody get mentally incapable or paralyzed, cannot express their thoughts, cannot express their decision, the LPA will actually appoint a backup person. This backup person will serve as you to act for your personal finances as well as your personal welfare. It also simplifies the legal process because, auntie 中 stroke 嘞，怎么办？说好叫他儿子去弄咯，他不会弄嘞，他又不管。So the auntie may be very close to one of the cousins, so actually the cousin is the caregiver, right? So with the LPA in place, the cousin immediately go to court, apply within a few days or a week, or you can get the power to access the person's finances or pay for medical bill and all that. If you want to go through the whole court process, court will ask you, hey, who are you to this person? Why are you asking for this? Or why you never do? So there's a long period of time. Of course, fees you appoint somebody to help you with that. Then ultimately, when your decision is very clear, you appoint this person, everybody listen to that one person. There's no argument. Like, I give an example, my grandmother who passed away last year. I have a family chat group. The family chat group, a lot of nonsense. So I'm not inside the family chat group. But then my sister came to me, she said, hey, the aunties and uncle arguing inside. I said, what happened? I said, hey, the doctor is asking what happens if she cannot be resuscitated or need a lot of effort to do so. Who to look for? So everybody start argue lor. So I don't want 你跟妈妈比较熟，你什么啦？ So in the end, I had to step in. I say I represent everybody. Or I tell the doctors what to do in case certain thing happens. Although I don't have the power, but it does still carry some weight, right? Some of you may have heard of ACP. What is ACP? ACP is Advanced Care Plan. So Advanced Care Plan, I like to show this because LPA, right? You give the person power, right? But the person don't know what to do, right? For example, I cannot stroke, I lie at home. Then I actually like to listen to music. But then the person care for me, I put in a bed, turn on an aircon, but never on my music. I feel very sad. Every day, no music listen to. So the Advanced Care Plan is something like that. It's a form of guidance. It's not a legally binding document. right, is to guide the care person, you guide the donee, right, the person who has the power to decide what to do when I'm bedridden. So why it's not legally binding? Because there are things that people will ask for that's out of the world. So it mainly serves as a guidance for your healthcare workers and also for your donees to act. So this nominated healthcare spokesperson, the official term for this person who is speaking on behalf of you, right? This person has no legal power, but this person can advise the donee, which is the person who has the actual power, to do certain things, right? So depending on whether finances are, like say, I put in my ACB, 我每天都要按摩, but I don't have the money to 按摩, right? So the donee will have to tell the spokesperson, hey, sorry, maybe once a week, not every day. So these two persons will act hand in hand. In a lot of cases, the LPA donee and the ACP spokesperson will be the same fella. So it's easier. At least this person, if he's also involved in the ACP Advanced Care Plan, he will know exactly how to care for you. Okay, so now we have talked about these few things. The importance of will, right? So a will helps you clearly and legally document your wishes. It helps the court to give the order, and in case of dispute, the will is very clear, says what to do. So it reduces a lot of unnecessary hassle. And LPA helps people when they lost their mental incapacity. It gives a caregiver the power to perform certain transactions or actions for the person. So these two, very important. Government now, okay, they say you register your LPA, it's free of charge. Okay, register on a website is free of charge, but you still need to engage a certificate issuer, which is usually a doctor, a lawyer, or a psychiatrist. So it's very important, it's very accessible, you can do it online as well. The last thing, if you remember, I wanted you guys to remember is also your CPF nomination. Why important? Because this is not covered by your will. I repeat again, this is not covered by your will. So a lot of people think, the will take care of everything. But if your CPF never do nomination, you will go back to the interstate succession law. So government will go and distribute accordingly to that certain rule that I've shown you earlier on. So important, if you think, if your will, you will away your condo, you will away your bank account, remember to also make arrangements for your CPF. Okay? So the CPF is very easy to do, online you can do, right? You can nominate, I think, up to 15 beneficiaries in different percentages. So it's very flexible, government is promoting all this. So remember the statistic I showed you earlier on, the traction for LPA and wills is very high because government support to do LPA and CPF, very accessible. And lastly, tie up everything with a will. So after saying all this, when should I do? And when do all these things come in? So I will show a trajectory of life and illness. So for example, I have a serious illness. I can still talk and fend for myself. So no issue, okay? During sickness, I may be in a coma, bedridden. I cannot express myself, I cannot talk. So this is where your LPA will come in and your advanced care plan will come in. Okay, so this is where your appointed spokesperson and donee will work together to make sure you have care during this period of time. So if I recover, okay, that's good. So this thing will not concern after all. But at the stage where it comes to terminally ill, that means 没救了. Myself, I did my own AMD. What is AMD? AMD is Advanced Medical Directive. AMD is Advanced Medical Directive. This one, easy to do, one form. I basically tell the doctors through this form that in case if things happen, I cannot be resuscitated, cannot be supported, please, remove all the necessary, not to sustain life unmeaningfully. Then after that, the big wave off, when we finally say goodbye, this is where your will and your CPF nomination will kick in. So I think if you look at it like this, in this timeline, it's very easy to see where all these things come in place. Just now during my booth, some of them came to me and said, hey, you know, hey, I did my will already, I did my LPA already, wow, 好死了, you don't need to talk to me. Okay lah, no problem lah. But important is when to review, okay? Whatever you put in place today may change tomorrow. So for example, childbirth, marriage, divorce, or the death of your nominee. Okay, when these things happen, it's time to review your existing estate plan. Okay, you don't have estate plan, good, you come talk to me, I will tell you how to do it. If you have a plan already, can also, but please do remember to review. So I share one story of, I heard recently from CPF themselves. So there was this person who is the third son. He came to CPF board bank table and said, hey, walao, how come I'm not entitled to my father's CPF? Both my 大哥, 二哥 have. Why am I not inside? Then after that, the CPF board director also scratched it and said, hey, 奇怪leh, let's review the form. So they took out the form. It's a very old form, I think in the 1960s, all yellow and brittle. So they were looking and say, hey, yeah, why only nominated son number 1 and son number 2, never nominate son number 3? So one of the team members, they saw the date of the form. Oh, X month 1, 1970, for example. Okay, the nomination was done in 1970. The third son, born 1975. Father forget to update. Number 3 son don't have, get upset, quarrel with the brother and all that. So today you forget to do, may cause problem X number of years later. So please remember her. Okay. If you don't have a plan or you want to review a plan, you should act now. Okay. Why I have this guy doing like a stock take? It's very important. First, you do your stock take of your overall plan, but if you don't have a plan, the most important thing you do for yourself today, very simple. Either you take out a pen and paper or you go to my portal, okay? You list down your assets. Okay, a lot of people say, 哎呀，我没有很多钱啊，什么一点点而已. But when you add together, including your CPF, your insurance, and all your investment with us, hey, I do actually have a lot. So how do I give? So that's when you start asking yourself the how, when, and why. Okay? So for today, the most important thing is you take stock of what you have. So we are now investment, you're all savvy investment, right? You all know exactly how much stocks you all have, right? But have you ever seen all of them in one holistic view? So in my portal, we have this thing called the Legacy Register. It's a free feature. Once you create an account, free also. Okay, you can list down, use this and list down your assets. Have an overview, you think about it. Hey, wow, add together, 也有几百万, 没派嘞, right? So use this free. My booth is there. Okay, this is our official website. If you need to have a chat, I'll be there until the end of the event. My colleague 𝗲𝘃 will be there at the end of the event. And of course, today you create an account. We give you a small token, 一个春联. You show our team you have created an account, right? Then you can get our calligraphy artists there to write for you. 福满人间, 出入平安, those kind of things. So I think it's timely also for New Year as well. You can create an account. After that, go and redeem your 春联. And at the same time, we also have our campaigns. Okay, a lot of people ask, hey, your campaign 在哪里? My campaign is on my website. Now I show to you, display to you right here that we have a lifetime will custody campaign for the first 50 clients. $88, lifetime, no recurring. This will encourage people who have done their wills, but hey, wow, 我忘记我的 will 在哪里? The Singapore court still need a physical copy, wet ink sign. So if you forget where you keep your will, you lost your will, it's as good as not doing one. So what we're trying to do is help people, take your will, keep with us, it's safe, inform your executor that, hey, I done something with iFAST. Anything happened to me, go and look for them. So our team, we know how to handle. So we are offering a lifetime will custody for standalone wills. We're also giving a discount on our legacy packages. So my name is 𝗪𝘃𝗲𝘀 again, and my colleague at the booth is 𝗲𝘃. If any questions, just feel free to approach us, or after that, when you go back and think about it, anytime, drop us an email, call us. Okay? So, thank you so much.